and see how that goes. But anyway, let's all greet our honored guest, Katie Hill, and she'll be up here to talk. And by the way, when she gets done, there's a microphone up here in front. You can come up and ask Michelle any questions that she's so.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself, and then I really am hoping that we can just have a conversation and talk about the issues that you care about and what you think I should know. I grew up here in the 25th District. I grew up in the Antelope Valley before moving here to the Santa Clarita Valley when I was 11 years old, so I graduated from all local schools. I am the daughter of a police officer. My dad, Mike Hill, right here.
You know, more and more seniors are becoming homeless.
Mm-hmm.
I think our last count, we had 13 seniors who are homeless here now.
Yep.
Through your organization and through government, how do you intend to keep our seniors off the street and have a home to live in?
Social Security has not kept pace at all with the cost of housing, particularly in communities like here in California. So as long as rents continue to rise and vacancy rates go down, then homelessness is going to increase. And when you have people who are on a fixed income, like seniors, then they're going to be heavily hit. We have to increase housing affordability and really deal with that. And I think that there's many aspects with the production of housing, and particularly dedicating it to low-income seniors is something that's absolutely critical. We have to really look at that from a holistic approach of what are we doing as a society to make sure that there's a safety net in place. And that's a really involved process, but it requires an investment. So
I'm basically asking a question here about the low-income housing tax credit program. We as residents have in 5 months received 2 rent increases. Now you're talking about homeless people. Out of 198 apartments, roughly 80% of those residents are on Social Security alone.
Department of Housing and Community Development is probably the next place to go to, but let's talk more afterwards, and I'd like to find out more about the project in particular, and if you have any notices, then it sounds like there have been other projects that are similarly affected, and we've been able to work with some organizations to assist those seniors to make sure that they're fighting for their rights, and housing rights advocates basically. So let's chat afterwards, and I can see if I can get you any resources on that front.
What are your thoughts on student loans and the very high cost of tuition that's happening in our country?
Yeah, so that's an issue that deeply affects my generation. Frankly, my family wouldn't be in the middle class if it weren't for the opportunities that were afforded with affordable education. Both of my grandfathers came from poverty. One of them was from a farming family in Idaho. The other one was from a railroad workers in Oklahoma. Brilliant men. Both of them knew that if they wanted to get out of that situation, they had to get out of there, and the only way to do that was to join the military. And I think that that's a model. The GI Bill and ROTC are similar models that we could look at. That doesn't have to be military service, but it could be kind of community service, that we can ask students who can't afford college but want to work and are willing to work and put skin in the game, to sign up for something like that, and to work in, whether it's in our inner cities or in environmental projects or in infrastructure projects, and then they'll earn a way to pay off their education. And I think that those are models that already exist and that we can very easily replicate and expand upon.
Let's give Katie a big hand.
Thank you.
You're voted on by one vote. There's no discussion. 12.
He was pretty much when he had me.
But not in this case.
No, 100%.
It was a review, and it was commented on by the
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
The council truly paid attention.
Okay, bye.
And in the end, staff was directed to study the issue further.
Yeah.
And we are very open to
Yeah.
discussion with all people.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate it. So.
Thank
you.
Spoke for a long time.
Oh, thank you. Have a good night. They asked a lot about homelessness, which was good. I think it's good to hear that people are concerned about that here, and that it's something that transcends, the political dichotomy. So.
A lot of questions about seniors too.
That was the crowd.
Do you think we're doing enough for that person?
Not at all. No, and it's something that our generation is going to have to deal with. That, you know, as people continue to age, the baby boomers are not ready for retirement. They're more and more going to be falling into homelessness. They're going to be dealing with massive health problems that we're not adequately prepared to deal with, and we need to get on top of it now. So it's something that from PATH's standpoint, we're looking at, like, how are we creating, you know, even transition in place, like assisted living kind of programs, because those don't exist for people who don't have money, and those sorts of programs are we're not just looking at people who are in poverty anymore. We're looking at people who are all the way up into the middle class, because they aren't going to have retirements. It's so hard.